Hello everybody! Today we're going to see how I draw Roadblock from G.I. Joe. Just so you know, there's a coloring book that you can get through Amazon. Just follow the link in my description and you can get a coloring book to show me how you color to how I draw. Okay, pencils first and then Sharpies. So if you don't want to watch the pencil portion of the video where I sketch the entire thing out, look in the description and you'll find a link that you can click on that will take you to the Sharpie portion of the video. I'll even include one for color. But for those of you that are going to stick around, I'm going to start off with a quick sketch for myself and get us going. Okay, yeah, a little bit over like this. So I'm going to draw this big old gun, this big old, super big gun that got to fit in this area that's going to be that big. So I just had to scoot them over just a skosh, just a little bit, just to make it all fit. All right. So okay, so yeah, so I'm basing this on the G.I. Joe Classified series, and that's the new version of G.I. Joe toy that's coming out, because I wasn't a big collector of the old one, but I really like where this stuff's going. It's really, really awesome. So I just love the design and whatnot. So I want to draw the characters. So I'm just kind of playing around with the different looks. So and you know what? I'm going to get on my soapbox. I'm going to talk about this stuff for a little bit. I know some people are complaining that this is not the old G.I. Joe. This is not what I grew up with. But you know what? You know what I have to say about that? Your time's done. It's over. It's time for new stuff. And what I mean by that is I just see so many people, and I'm not going to lie, older men like myself that collect toys still, that are complaining that it's not the toy they grew up with, and they're mad because Hasbro's not concentrating on the 3 3/4 figures. Well, you know, your time's done. You had your fun. It's time for new stuff. You know, that's what I say. And I say that as a person that used to buy and collect that stuff too. You know, I started buying the new Black series. You know, the 6-inch version. Oh my gosh! Let me tell you this. So I have a memory of my old toys and the fondness I have of them. But man, you go back and look at them, they look horrible. They're terrible. And, you know, no offense, it's all they had at the time. You know, it was just crank them out, make some money. I get it, you know. But going back and looking back, oof, man, were they bad. So, you know, I really appreciate the texture and the care and all the awesomeness that's going into new toy design, especially the 6-inch versions like this, you know, the new G.I. Joe version. So I don't mind that it's time to move on. It's time to do new stuff. You know, it's time to see good quality and care, especially if collectors like myself, older gentlemen that really want to capture that nostalgia, if we're willing to put the money in, then give it to us. You know, make that awesome new figure. Make it cool. Make it fantastic. So I don't mind. I like this new stuff. I think it's really, really cool, and that's why I like drawing it. So, you know, it's really fun to, you know, to pose them, to look at them, to collect them and draw them. You know, it's fun. It's what makes us happy. You know, find you some happiness. Mine, it's action figures and Star Wars and all this fun stuff. You know, it's a little bit of happiness in the world. Okay, so it looks like I've got the pose, so I think I'm gonna, you know, sit here and concentrate on some details. You know, just a few, just to guide us on where we're gonna go with this. And I've got them kind of turned, so you know, I'm gonna just draw a little bit of an angled face, different, more of a 3/4 view. That's what this is, and just build on that. So, yeah, so, you know, like I said, I hate to, you know, complain or talk bad about anybody that doesn't like something, but, you know, this is my channel. I get to say what I want, you know. So, I'm going to talk about the things I like, not the things I don't like, you know. I do I do not like that I can't get these toys right now, but that's how the things go. You know, we're in a crazy time. It's pandemic time and everybody's got to be careful, and I hope all of you are wearing masks and being careful and staying in as much as you can. And I get it that because of that, nobody, Hasbro, Walmart, nobody anticipated that everybody was going to be shopping from home and no more online retail. I mean, no more in-store retail, it's all online. And so all this stuff is selling out left and right because people are just buying it digitally, you know. So, you know, good for them. I'm glad for the people that got it, but, you know, I don't think anybody was prepared for the amount of stuff that was going to be sold online. So it's hard, super hard to find these figures right now. So, you know, right now I'm going by pictures. So I'm kind of just, you know, eyeballing the details from pictures of the toys, and then I can pose and place the details like this, you know. But I'm hoping that'll change. I think come Christmas time, you know, once the holidays roll in, this fourth quarter of retail and whatnot, I think they're seeing the demand, and so hopefully they're starting to resupply, restock, and fill our stockings with all kinds of G.I. Joe Star Wars goodness. All right, so let me just kind of give myself a guide to get the gun straight across. And I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm just gonna make some shapes because it's like a space gun. It's kind of, you know, not real. So I'm just gonna quickly throw some quick shapes on it and make it look like his gun that he's got. But I want to make sure I get it straight across, that I've got it going at a straight across angle because of the length of it. And then I'm just gonna, you know, play with some shapes, some space shapes, you know. What's crazy is I've heard that these guns, that they're all Nerf guns. There's no way this one is, though. This is just a big old space gun, you know, big old, what's it called, like a heavy gun, big heavy gunner gun. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. So it's just, you know, the bulk of space shapes, and that's really about it. And I'm not going to worry too much about the craziness of it, the specific details, just the rough idea and the rough shapes, and you know, just use that ruler just to guide me of going straight across. That's it. We're gonna eyeball the entire thing. If you want to get a ruler and draw straight edges on the gun, you go for it. You do what you want to do. This is me. This is how I draw. Because remember, you draw how you draw, I draw how I draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. All right. Okay, this is working pretty good. I think we're gonna just tighten up a few things here, and I think I'm about ready. Is there anything else I need to do? Any little extra detail? No, I think that'll work. Let's see, it's big old strong man holding the gun, right? That's all it really is. So yeah, we're getting ready. Okay. Alright, so let me just add a few more of these little specific shapes. I mean, his arm's going to be kind of behind the gun, so, you know, that's all I got to do is make sure that I add enough that you see, and then we can build the rest of the gun behind it, you know? That's all we got to worry about. Okay. Looking good. All right. Yeah. So, okay, I think I'm about ready. Let me just erase some of these sketch lines real quick. The sketch worked pretty good, so I didn't have to get too dark. And usually what I do is I erase the sketch lines and leave myself the darker lines, but the sketch worked pretty well, especially around the legs. So I just gotta lightly get rid of some of this, and then we can build. So yeah, I say we welcome everybody that skipped and get going. Oh, with the Sharpie section, yeah. Welcome, skippers. Welcome to the Sharpie portion of the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe because I do a different drawing every day. You can join along and have some fun. I'm going to be using a Sharpie fine point and a Sharpie pen, mostly the fine point, but the pen's a little finer than a fine point. You can find things that a fine point can't quite find. I've erased the majority of the image and I left myself enough to guide me and see where we're gonna go. So I think I'm gonna start with the, let's see, the head's turned. So I think I need to do a little bit of the detail with the Sharpie pen, and because I can control the line width much better because I turned it like this. So I want to be able to capture the edge of the face. So I'm gonna start with the top of the eyes like this, and again I've got them turned, so they're gonna slightly go over like that. And then I'm gonna draw the retinas, and I've got those, I'm sorry, the retinas, the color part. I've got those looking that way because, like I said, his head is turned, his whole body's turned. So it's gonna be lifted that way, or tilted that way, sorry. And so for the bottom of the eyes, what I normally do is just kind of come in just a little bit. I don't draw the line all the way through. I would love to, but these are so tiny, there's no way that you're gonna see it because it's such a tiny little drawing. But that's okay, that's what's good. That's why we have this Sharpie pen. We can do the details. So let me give him some big old strong eyebrows, little furrowed brow, he's going into war, so he's got that stern look, you know? All right. Okay, and so for his nose, I'm just gonna kind of come down just a little bit. You can see a little bit more of this side because it is turned. Normally I don't draw a lot of the nose because it's basically colored or shading, but since he's turned, you get more of an edge. So I'm gonna give it that much and then just add some nostrils on the side here, just to kind of define that edge. Maybe do a little one over here if I can. Yeah, that'll work. Alrighty. So let's see, for his he's got a goatee and a beard, so I can give him his mouth and then use that top lip edge to kind of build a little bit of a goatee, and that'll kind of show where his lip is too. So I'll do the bottom lip like that. Then I can expand on the goatee to show the rest of his face. You know, kind of coming down to his old bearded beard, and he's got one of those underbeards. You know, it's kind of like underneath his chin, kind of just under and coming under, like almost like no other part. You know, so I gotta make sure it's on the underside of his face, but that'll help show where his chin is, where the edge of his face is, basically. So I'm just gonna kind of play around with like a little bit of hair coming out, a little bit of hanging down from the sides, just to show that it's on the underside. And I'm gonna start to thicken up these edges just a little bit too, because as I switch over to the big Sharpie, it's going to the line width is much different. It's much fatter. So I'm gonna prepare because I know what's gonna happen, because I know how it's gonna look. So I just want to get it looking cohesive, you know, kind of the same as what's about to happen. You don't have to do that if you're working with pencil, but I'm just showing you what I'm doing because that Sharpie is too fat. Well, not too fat, sorry. Is much fatter than the other part of the other style of the Sharpie pen. All right, so I'm gonna do a little bit of the ear on the inside like that, and then just add a little bit of the edge like this. Connect that. Looks good. And I'm gonna go ahead and do some of the edge, like I was talking about, thicken it up just a little bit. And I'm gonna go ahead and do the head, and that's why I like doing it with this Sharpie, because I can control it much better, because it's a little too thin, but now I can thicken it up just to make it look like it did, or like the Sharpie fine point's gonna look like. And it's funny because the Sharpie fine point's not fine enough for something this tiny, but we like it, right? That's why we grab it, because it's something you got lying around the house. Anybody's got one. Everybody's got one. So you could just go and grab what you got in your drawer and start drawing. But also so you can see better too. I know a lot of you just use a pencil, and that's fine. That's great. That's awesome. Just you know, I'm just showing you an easier way to see, because my pencil might be a little too small or too thin. I mean, nobody can ever see my sketch line, so I get it. All right, so let's give him a little bit of a strong face here, a little bit of cheekbone. Okay, so I say we switch over to the big Sharpie now, or the Sharpie fine point, and let's add a neck, or his vest has got like a collar. So I'm gonna add that, and I can draw his neck now. I'm gonna add this side. and you're seeing at a different angle because it's faced, you know, one side is going one way, the other one's going the other because the way he's turned. So you're kind of seeing one side going out and the other one is how do I say it, pointed like right at you, you know. So all right, so there's a lot of details here that I want to try to get in, so I'm going to jump around just a little bit, just following my sketch. But he's got like this really cool vest with a knife right here, and he's got like these straps over his shoulders that come down. That I want to add a little bit of detail, but I also want to be careful because he's got that gun hand right in the way. So I'm going to draw some of the new gold style detail he's got on his strap here, just a little bit of accent with this pen. And I like to jump in and do little stuff like this every now and then to accent the small parts, because it's a nice complement to the big fat Sharpie that we're using. If you're using a pencil, you can do this if you want, just thicken up some lines and thin out the others, but it's a nice complement to such a thick line. All right, so now I can connect that here, now that I've got that defined. And let's see, draw the other one over here. It's like this big old strap, like pack thing. I don't know what it's called. It looks like a belt is what it looks like to me, because it's like over his shoulder, but it's got all these variations of technical design. Tech design is what we call it in the biz. Okay, so there's like a clasp handle here. Then we've got that little tech, what looks like a belt to me, detail going like this. I just want to add little stuff like that. Okay, awesome. So let's see what I can add now. Let's go to the big parts, the big edge of his chest. Now that we know our spacing, but the gun's going across right here, so I gotta do that first. I gotta put that in front, but I've got to build up to it, so it's not just floating. I'm trying not to float stuff. I know you guys kind of follow, you know, what's touching and then touching this and all that, but with that gun right there, I've got to draw the handle so I can draw the hand coming around it because of the way it's holding. So sometimes I can't draw the bottom of stuff until I draw other parts. Okay, let's draw some fingers up like this. I know it's a little blobby, but that's what we got the Sharpie fine point. I'm sorry, the Sharpie pen for. We can add some knuckle details just to kind of, you know, flesh it out, so to speak. Flesh out the gloves so you can see where we are and see how it's wrapped around. Then he's got like little knuckle duster pieces on the back here, and a little bit of the back of the glove too. All right. Okay. All right. I don't want to go too crazy with the details here, because I gotta draw that arm there to draw the other part of the gun. So yeah, you gotta draw what's in front, then you can draw what's behind, right? So let's see. So this arm is gonna be coming down right here, but I've got the gun, the handle that he's holding is in front of this, so I can only go so far down. So I can draw the outer edge, and then I can go ahead and draw the underside because this is in front, but I gotta be careful because the handle of the gun, where he's holding it, you can see the trigger. So the fingers are over the gun, over the thumb, over the, you know, it's kind of a tricky thing to do, but that's why I'm just having you just follow me, okay? So there you go. I draw the handle over the gun, the finger, the thumb is behind that, but then the fingers are in front of it. So it's a little tricky, but you plan it and it's gonna work out, okay? So these fingers are all wrapped around. We draw his knuckles so you see where we are. They're just kind of going around, and I'm not too worried too much about detail. Again, it's gonna be a little blobby. Then I can add some detail with the Sharpie pen, and then I can define a few things. But you see how I had to draw different parts first to get to the other part? You just got to plan. That's really what it comes down to. And if you're working with pencil, don't be afraid to erase. Sometimes you got to erase, and it's got to happen, you know? Okay, so I can see a little bit of the fingers wrapping around like that. We'll say those were the gloves that cut off right there. I'm gonna add a little bit of the back of the glove, like that. And let's see, so there you go. So that's good for the handle. And now, let's see, this bugs me a little bit. I want to make it a little bit more realistic, like that finger is a little bit higher than the rest. Okay, and so now I can concentrate on the finer details or the rest of the gun because I've got it cut off. So I can go ahead and draw some muscles here, and I can draw the rest of, let's see, the gun is going to be coming across, and the handle kind of goes back behind and over in front of his wrist over here. So, okay, so let me see if I'm gonna go across here. I gotta make sure that it's gonna go connecting. This is gonna come down. I want it to go across to connect to that part, but I'm gonna play around with some space shapes, you know? And see, this part's gonna go back, and this is where the handle's gonna come up and down. And see, not too far into the hand right there, but I wanted to make sure I do that first so that doesn't get drawn through. That's what we're going through. That way I can just flow the rest across. Okay, so let's just go ahead and just connect some of this stuff. And I'm gonna follow that pencil line that I did just to kind of build it up and go across. And look, it's not gonna be straight. I'm not worried about that. I'm just drawing space shapes. Just a bunch of blockety blocks and shapety shapes, kind of based on the actual toy, you know, or the gun that he's got. But again, it's just shapes, just pieces and parts, and I'm not too worried about how perfect it comes out. If you want to do that, you go for it. Me, I'm just kind of playing with it to make it look like it's manufactured. You know, it's actually built and designed. But you know, that's it. That's all I'm worried about. That it looks like it's something that's made. I'm not worried about whether it's perfectly accurate. But I'm gonna try. I'm not saying I don't care. I'm just gonna not worry too much about it. I'm not gonna, you know, lose sleep over it. You know, because it's real simple. We're just gonna add blockety shapes. That's it. Just to make it look like it was manufactured. And then build from there. You know, just some lines and shapes. And then what I'm gonna do is afterwards also is I'm gonna come back with the Sharpie fine point and add some more detail. So right now, this is good enough, just blocks and shapes. You know, and then you kind of break it up and then, you know, build on that. So this one's gonna come out. And again, see how it's not perfect? I'm just, you know, drawing some shapes and lines, and it's okay, it's no big deal. No one's gonna tell me I'm wrong. And if they do, good, awesome, good for you, because we're just gonna draw this across, just more shapes based on the toy. Blobbity shapes, squarity shapes. Let's see, this is coming across. Sorry, I'm kind of concentrating now. After I just boasted and bragged that I don't care, doesn't matter to me. Now I'm trying to get it right. Now I'm trying to say, okay, well I got to do it like this, and I got to add that, and I got to add this, and I got to add that. All right, I'm going to try to do the same thing. Try to remember how I did the same thing, right? Okay, and then come out here, add this kind of shape. And what's funny is you would think I did all this ahead of time, like we'll do it like that, because I do it different every time, right? It's kind of a crazy look to it. And it ends up being a little different, but that's okay. It looks awesome to me. So let's add some detail. All right, so here's where we're just gonna kind of, you know, add a little bit of extra. Just go back and add some fine detail. And what we're doing here is not adding too much. There's a lot more detail than this, but we're breaking up the shapes, breaking up the big blobbity shapes, because little stuff like this is gonna make it a little different, and it also complements the thick lines. We just kind of play around with big old thick lines like that. So it's better to break it up and do little stuff like this, just to make it different, make it unique, you know? All right. Let's see, I'm gonna add a little bit here. And again, I'm just kind of making it up. So don't worry if you're not doing the exact same thing I am. I'm just adding lines and shapes and stuff like that, you know? And I'm kind of leaning back and looking at it and saying, oh, let's break it up like this, and let's add some tinier edges just to, like I said, just to break it up and complement the big fat lines. And it makes it different. It makes it not the same black outline the entire way. It kind of mixes it up, you know? And that's what we're going for, a little bit different. All right, so just a few more. Just gonna make up a few more little designs of if it had this, and we're gonna have that. And if the manufacturer had to put a piece over here and wrap it over like that, maybe it would look like this. You know, just some fun stuff. You know, just thinking of looking at it and saying, okay, let's break it up by adding this and that and mixing it up like this. But I am going by the toy. I am looking at the toy and seeing, you know, what details it has on it, so I can try to make it close. You know, I'm at least going to try to do something. But again, not 100% exact, you know? All right. Okay, just a few more, just to break it up. And color is going to take care of a lot of this too. So, you know, like I said, I don't really have to worry too much about it, but I do kind of want to play around with, you know, not leaving too many open spaces, since it's a big metal manufactured gun, space gun, you know. I know he's not in space, but they do shoot lasers. If you go back and look at the cartoons, it's always lasers, it's never bullets. All right, so that's good for me. So let's go ahead and start reconnecting a few things, because I have stop points, and that'll let me go ahead and just connect it all the way to it. Awesome. Connect these. Let's see, that's like underneath, so we don't really see that part of the arm, since it's underneath back there. So we're not worried about that. Let's just add some muscles. Just a little bit of, sorry, every time I say I'm going to do something, I see something else I want to do. So let's add just a little bit of muscle detail. I have good intentions, but sometimes I get distracted. Like, ooh, I should add this, and ooh, I should add that, you know. So we're just going to give him some strong muscular flexing tendons, because he's holding up this gun with his big old strong arms. Okay, and like I said, that one's kind of behind, so we're not really worried too much about that. So I'll just add a little extra detail here and add the inside of his vest. Now that I can draw the actual sharp edges, or continued edge, because I have a stop point, I add just a little bit like this. And we'll do more with color, but this will help break up, like I said, break up a big blank piece, you know? Connect a few of these now that I can. All right, awesome. And I like to do little stuff like this, just to make it come alive, you know? All right, so he's got a belt and whatnot, but you know what? We can't really see it because the gun. So all I got to do is worry about the pants and mech boots. You know, so I've got him just in a stance like this, down to his boots. And I know they're not mech boots, but they've got a really cool armor. Almost, I call it mech, but it's like more of like a tech design. There you go. It's not mechanized, it's technology design, you know, something like that, because it almost looks like Iron Man boots, you know, something like that. So that's why it makes me think of like a tech boot, a technology style, you know. And this is one of the things a lot of the people are complaining about. If you heard my rant in my sketch part, the people that are complaining like, oh, this is not the G.I. Joe I knew, and this is different and all that. That's right, it's not. It's time for new stuff. It's time to move on, because it's no longer your G.I. Joe. It's now time for new stuff. And that's what I really like about like this, like the new. Sorry, just added some creases and folds. The new technical look in the shin guards here. You know, it's got like this little places for lines, and like I said, there's no need for them, but it looks really good. It's a very, very good sophisticated design is what it is, and I think that's what upsets a lot of people, is there's gold and red colors and stuff like that, but it helps. It looks fresh and new, and I like that. So see how it's like very Iron Man. So yeah, so it's really cool. I like it a lot. So all right, so let me just draw a boot. And again, he's got like a little protector over his laces. And this shoe is pretty much pointed right at you, so it looks like a big old round blobbish. There's the toe. I can add just a little bit of a little tread down at the bottom, so you kind of separate it. All right. Okay. All right, so let's draw his other leg. And it's kind of sticking out this way. Then come down, and he's got a knee pad on this one, so we're gonna add a little bit of an extra. Come back, because we're looking at the side, so we're gonna stop it here so I can connect it to the back of the knee like that. Then bring in his leg. It's cloth, so add a few little bumps and creases. Speaking of creases, we're gonna add some in his crotch right here, because his pants, they bend right there. Because the more you bend, the more creases you're gonna have. So I always like to show stress where bends happen, like the knees, the crotch, the elbows, the shoulders, stuff like that. You know, it helps make it look real. It makes it look awesome, you know? All right, and it's got a cool edge on these knee pads. Okay. All right, so let's draw the shin protector on the other one. Make it look like that, but a side view basically. So I'm gonna come in and add like a little bit where you can see the back of it too. So I'm gonna draw the back of the leg as well. So we're leaving room for it to go back there and connect. A little strap right there. A little strap right there. And then I can connect where the pants are. And then I just gotta draw some boots. And it's got pretty much like we got over there. It's gonna draw the lace protector. Side view basically. The toe. Come down over here for the heel. That. Let me just add a little bit of extra with some tread. And a little bit of extra on the mech Iron Man shin protector. All right, I like it. I think it really looks good. It's a nice compliment to the old, just, you know, boring old shapes, you know. And if they say, well, that's not my G.I. Joe, well, good. It's done. Your G.I. Joe's over. It's time for new stuff. All right, so just a little bit of heel. All right, a little bit of tread. And there you go. I'd say we take care of the rest with color. So that is Roadblock from G.I. Joe. So here's how I colored it. Tell me what you think in the comments below, or show me what you did in our Discord group. Just have fun and make it your own, because remember, this is how I draw. You draw how you draw, and we'll meet somewhere in between. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more adventures of How I Draw. Plus, don't forget to hit that notification button for new videos.